Let's bring in Mike Carey, Congressman of Ohio. He will be voting today. Sir, how will you plan on voting as they start with the sixth vote?
Listen, I've said from the beginning I was a vote for Kevin McCarthy on my first vote, and I'll be a vote for Kevin McCarthy on my 500th. So I think we're going to get there. I think the leaders made some concessions. I think these 20 individuals that are continuing to not be part of the team, they're trying to stay. But I think in the end, we'll get together, we'll get this resolved, and we'll have Kevin McCarthy as our speaker.
So we're going into the sixth vote. You said you'd still vote for him on your 500th vote. Hopefully it won't take that long. I'm sure you're hoping. How many more votes do you think it will take until McCarthy hits that magic 218 number?
You know, I really don't know, but I can tell you is that, the leader has been very clear. He's made some concessions to and then listen, the Freedom Caucus, we had my colleague who's from Ohio, Warren Davison, who actually introduced Kevin McCarthy. He's one of the leaders of the Freedom Caucus. He was one of the first candidates supported by the Freedom Caucus. And he's supporting Kevin McCarthy. Jim Jordan, another one of my Ohio colleagues, is supporting Kevin McCarthy. So I don't know how many votes it's going to take, but I can assure you we'll get there.
What would you say to the 20 people who have been voting not with Kevin McCarthy? And just to put this in perspective, it's 10% of the number of Republicans. And it's like 5% of the members of Congress, the 434. Unfortunately, the 435th has passed away, as we know, which is why it's 434, not 5. But what would you say to them? Because they're holding up all orders of business, really, because you need the speaker before you actually swear in the members-elect and then start assigning people to committees, et cetera.
Well, listen, we can't do the work, the people's work, until we get the speaker sworn in or until we elect a speaker. And listen, I mean, that is, Kevin's been very clear. We have, 3 missions that we have to do. One of them is to obviously stop the spending. We want to secure the border. We want to improve education. We want to do we want to do some major reforms in this country. And one of them was the 87,000 IRS agents that Kevin pledged to our conference that on day one, we would make sure that we don't fund those 87,000 IRS agents. So these 20 individuals, I'm saying to them, come on, let's get together. Let's work as a team. And, let's start putting an agenda, an America First agenda, because that's what the commitment to America really is.
Yeah, and I mean, why do you think these 20 people are so opposed to McCarthy that they're not willing to say, well, okay, maybe he wasn't my first choice, but in the interest of the Republican Party, in the interest of getting back to business, all right, I'll vote for him?
You would think that would be the case. I mean, listen, you had President Trump, who endorsed me and endorsed many of these candidates in the Freedom Caucus, who came out and said, hey, listen, you guys get yourselves in order and support Kevin McCarthy as speaker. So I think the message is resonating. I know that I've heard from constituents back home that they don't like what they're seeing on TV. So, I've expressed that opinion to some of the members, but, hopefully we get through these rounds, we heal as a party, and we get Kevin as our speaker.
And I'm sure in the course of this, Byron Donalds, this is what I think of Ronald Reagan. Don't speak ill of a fellow Republican. You've got people now going against each other, and I keep returning to these things used to be done in smoke-filled rooms, and yet all of this is out in the open that we're watching.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've only been here a year, so I'm relatively new to this process. But what I can tell you is, watching this process as it unfolds, my hope is that we've got a lot of great members of the Freedom Caucus. Byron's a dear friend and a good colleague. But I think in the end, if we watched the series of votes, they keep nominating different people. And so I don't know what their alternative is because it's changed over the last 24, 48 hours. So to me, listen, the one constant, whether it's 202 or 203 or however many Kevin has, a majority of this conference wants Kevin McCarthy to lead this party and to lead this nation.
All right, Congressman, thank you so much for being with us.
Great to be with you.